Okay, here we got a coordinate geometry question with all different sort of parts of things that you should be able to do. So it says a line joining the points P -3, -6 and Q 6, 12. Calculate the length of PQ. We're going to do each one of these individually. So write down the two sets of coordinates. Always a good idea to label underneath x1, y1, x2, y2. The distance PQ is an application of Pythagoras' theorem, so you subtract the x coordinates and square them, and subtract the y coordinates and square them. So using Pythagoras' theorem, so that's going to be x2, which is 6, be careful of signs, -3, all squared, and then y2, which is 12, -6, all squared. So that gives me 9 squared, be careful with the signs again, plus 18 squared, which is the square root of 81. 18 squared is 324, which is the square root of 405, which gives me 20.124. Therefore PQ will be 20.123 significant figures. Right, find the equation of the line through P and Q. Give your answer in the form y is equal to mx plus c. Well, first of all, we need to find the gradient. Writing that down again, writing down x1, y1, x2, y2. The gradient is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So substituting carefully, 12 -6. So again, be careful with the signs. 6 -3, that's going to give 18 divided by 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Right, now there are two different methods of now finding the equation of the line. One is using y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. You only need to use one pair of coordinates. I've used x1 and y1 in this, but you could have used these as well. And that would be easy because they're positive. So y -6, be again careful with the signs, equal to gradient 2 x -3. That gives y plus 6 is equal to 2x plus 3. Expanding the bracket, we get y plus 6 is equal to 2x plus 6. Subtracting 6 from both sides, we're going to get that y is just equal to 2x. There's no c, it goes through the origin. If you use the other method, y is equal to mx plus c, this requires you to take a point. Again, you could have taken either of the 2 points. Let's take -3, -6. So y is -6, m is 2, x is -3 plus c. And then we've got -6, 2 times -3 is -6 plus c, therefore c is equal to 0. The equation is y is equal to mx plus c, so it's y is equal to m, which is 2x plus 0. We don't write the plus 0 in. Either way, you should get the same answer. You only have to do one of these two methods. Another line parallel to PQ passes through the point 0, -7. Write down the equation of this line. Well, if the line is parallel, any line parallel to this will have the same gradient, which is 2. And therefore the y-intercept is -7, because this is the coordinates of the y-intercept, 0, -7. So the equation of the line is y is equal to mx plus c, so it's going to be y is equal to 2, which is the gradient x minus 7. It's the answer. And then find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of PQ. The gradient of the perpendicular is going to be -1 over m, so if m is 2, the gradient of the perpendicular is -1 over 2. The little check you should do is 2 times the gradient of the perpendicular. This is the original gradient, this is the perpendicular. So 2 times -1/2 gives me -1, and that always happens. If you find the product of the gradient and its perpendicular gradient, the answer is always -1. You need to find the midpoint because you want the perpendicular bisector of PQ, so you want the midpoint of PQ. Again, labelling x1, y1, x2, y2. The coordinates of the midpoint are you add the two x1s together and divide by 2, add the two y1s and divide by 2. So you get -3 plus 6 divided by 2. and then minus 6 plus 12 divided by 2, and that's going to give you 3 over 2, which is 1.5, and 6 over 2, which is going to give you 3. So that's according to the midpoint. So our new line has a gradient of minus a half and goes through the point 1.53. So we require the line with a gradient minus 0.5. I'm going into decimals now, and a passing through the point 1.53. There's two methods again. You can use either the y minus y1, x minus x1. This is m, this is x1, y1 in this formula. So it's going to be y minus 3 is equal to the gradient minus 0.5, x minus 1.5. Now you'd expand the bracket, so it's y minus 3 minus 0.5x, and then you do minus 0.5 times minus 1.5. You can do that on your calculator. That gives you plus 0.75, and then you have to add 3 to both sides, and you get that y is equal to minus 0.5x plus 3.75. Again, all this you could do with the calculator, so you don't need to worry about doing decimal. The thing is to set out and try not to do too much in one go. The other method, using y is equal to mx plus c. So you put 3, the point, the y coordinate is equal to the gradient minus 0.5 times the x coordinate 1.5 plus c. You work out the value of c doing this, so you get 3. Minus 0.5 times 1.5 is minus 0.75 plus c, and then c will get by adding 0.75, so you get that c is equal to 3.75, and then again you write out y is equal to minus 0.5x plus 3.75. So there's two methods of doing this. Try just to learn one and practice one, and do the one which you can do the best. Okay, so this has been a video to show you how to find the perpendicular bisector and midpoints of lines, the gradients of line, and the distance between 2 points and lines which are parallel. I hope you've understood, and I thank you very much for watching.